What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's time to lean in. Okay, so today we are going to do something very special. As you can see, there are two people here with me today. Usually it's just me, but this episode in this show has been really good. So I've decided to bring in special guests, and when I say special, these are people that I usually will argue with online. But I want to get the conversation going. Like, I think that this is the best approach to take, especially as good as Insecure has been this season. So I'll let them introduce themselves. We'll start with Stanley, and then we'll go into Antoine.
I'm Stanley. I'm Team Issa. I'm, I'm from Philly, but I've been staying in DC for a little while for the quarantine. Um, that's the gist, basically.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm Antoine Tate, aka AT. I am representing Team Molly, and I am from DC, but I currently live in LA, and that's where I am for quarantine. So let's go.
Okay. So today, as you can see, we have a team Issa and we have a team Mike. Now, I purposely did this because I want this to be interesting. I want it to be good. People know what team I stand on, but I am not biased. I like to see both sides most times, and let's just kind of talk about it. Let's just start with, I guess, initial thoughts of the overall episode. We'll just start with you, Stanley. What were your initial thoughts of the episode as an overview?
So it was a good episode,
Okay.
and the way it was good was that, and it kind of Issa Rae's good with this because you kind of sometimes have a feeling like. Well, first of all, the show is already short as hell, so you are like, "Damn, it's over." But it really was a moment like 'cause I like the show is so short now. I watch time, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking to myself, "Damn, it's like 5-10 minutes left." I say, "Ain't nothing happened. This episode is going to be trash." But
Mm-hmm.
then that whole blow up, I was like, "Oh shit," because I knew something was going to happen at that block party. So overall, it was a good episode. It was nice seeing. I loved the performances. I loved seeing black people come together, and it had a feel them wobbling. And it really felt like it was going to be a feel good episode. Like, okay, they reconciling through black
Mm-hmm.
music. Come on, wobble, bringing friends together. And so when the way that went down, it was just a shock. So it was overall a good episode. What was interesting about it is that a lot of people who were Team Molly kind of like didn't like her,
Mm-hmm.
and there were some things Issa did this episode that I didn't like. So it was interesting how it kind of showed both
Mm-hmm.
parts.
Okay.
Like,
Antoine.
So I'm a writer as well, and I was just so like in awe with the writing and how subtle things were. Personally, for me, the highlight was Kelly. Like I think we all
yeah,
Kelly, the whole accent made me laugh my ass off.
it was a very balanced episode.
It was hilarious. Even with Tiffany had a little side, her side story.
Hmm.
But for me, like I knew it. I called it. I was like, I think Issa went around and got to Andrew through Nathan. Like I knew that happened. So when the episode was doing well, the writing wise, it did a good job of going on the roller coaster with them. Like once
Right.
Molly not forgave, but once he got back in good graces with Issa,
Mm-hmm.
so did we. So we like rocking with her. So when they started dancing together, I was in it. I was happy, but I
Mm-hmm.
knew this shit was to be true.
People love Kelly, like we love Kelly, and I've said since I've started reviewing this show that they don't show enough of Kelly. I feel like she's like that one character that they just show her as a filler, they use her as a filler, and we just want to see her. Like this episode, I feel like we saw her a lot, and it was fun to watch her. But let's talk about another character that we have not seen in a minute who popped back up. Miss Condola Ice, Miss Consuela, whatever, Console, whatever, Joy Controller Stick. She's back. Okay,
I
so
love how people just jack up her name on purpose. I
she
live
has
for
every name in
that.
the book. I mean, she.
Black folks will always be black folks when we don't like somebody. We're like, what did Condoleezza do now?
I don't dislike her. I just, I didn't
I
see
don't
it for
either. I
her from
actually
the
like Condoleezza.
beginning. So, okay, speaking since you like Condola, what your thoughts about her coming back and now her revealing that they have broken up?
I like her, but I don't like how. And I saw her. I said she need her ass kicked because when she revealed rather that her and Lawrence broke up, that did build context for why she was so different. But at the same time, I'm like, girl, we got to do business. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm always team like I get the emotional part, but all the greats we know at anything they do know how to separate their business part and deal with the personal later. And I felt like she really didn't do that, and especially considering the fact that her and Lawrence was really only together for like 2. I get that there was emotion there, but I just didn't like the way she did Issa like that. Overall, though, I do like Condola, and I like her, and I really wanted her. I really was rooting for her and Issa to become good friends because they have that same energy where they weird, but at the same time, Condola is a little. Condola could have gave Issa that polish she needs while still being weird. So I really was rooting for them to be friends, but after this, I don't think they'll never be friends after this. They just, and I think the show kind of showed it a little bit.
I mean, I think with Condola, like, she was trash for like going ghost. Yeah. But I was happy that she came back and she owned up to it. Like, she didn't just like, she actually owned up to what she
own
did.
Up to it? Do you think
she did? She said why she did it. She owned up to it, and she also talked about why she did it.
Because she wasn't going to come.
She wasn't, and she decided to like woman up, own up, and like look. And on top of that, she still did her job. She still did her job.
She made sure everything was okay.
Yeah.
She gave Issa her kudos that she did a good job. So yeah, but I think this the friendship part. I'm wondering, like, damn, I really wanted them to be friends. Like, I really wasn't even thinking about Lawrence. I really wanted them to just be good friends. I felt like Issa needed a new friend.
And it was looking that way. I feel like at the beginning, people were saying, oh, like, why should Issa stop her bag, because this keep professional, whatever. People were worried about Issa, but it actually was Condola who turned out to be the person that could not handle it, So I think that's just, like, a very interesting turn for it. To be honest, like, she's trash to me. I didn't really see the chemistry that they had, from the beginning. I've said that many times. And so when they broke up, it was just like, okay. And even last week, I kind of figured that's what Lawrence wanted to tell her. So I was just like, thank you, Condola, for your services, but you can go to the left because we got bigger issues, which you're going to talk about later, that's going on right now. And Condola, you are not a factor in this situation anymore, clearly. So, so moving into like the rest of the episode. So basically, this episode was based on the day of the block party, and the block party, like, it looked good. Like, it looked like amazing. Like, we live in LA, me and Antoine, and there are a lot of festivals and block parties, stuff like that here. So it was making me like reminisce, like, oh my God, I can't wait to outside get back open because like I missed that. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the block party and just some of the events that happened, starting out from like, her saying that only the white people were there and just Kelly, just overall like the block party. What's your thoughts?
I liked it with the exception of the ending. It went off without a hitch. I liked that it was because that kind of, even what Issa was saying, it's only white people, blah blah blah. That's kind of how it is when you plan anything. It's like whenever especially if you're hosting something so that large, there's always a moment of doubt. Like, this ain't going right. I don't got enough food. People ain't here. So I liked that it was going through the emotions with her. Like, it really felt like a real event. But in all honesty, in the totality, it was a great event. She did a good job, and I like how as time went on with the event, all her friends, and even Molly, I like that they were really like in awe at what she did. I like that she gave enough space and time for us to show black talent in the event. I love the wobble scene. Honestly, when her and Molly wobble, I actually smiled like that because that made me smile. I
did too.
Like, so, like, and I liked how it still had that feel good blackness to it, but it wasn't a whole episode just enough, and it moved the story. And I think, and it's so funny how the genius of it is that it's not even genius. Issa didn't write this with just knowing, but the fact that we're all in the house in quarantine, seeing that, like you said, just made us more nostalgic. I can't wait to go out. I can't wait to see my friends. I can't wait. It just made you like start remembering those feel good moments. So I think it went really well, honestly. But of course, besides the ending.
I mean,
I like that. It was a good idea writing wise. Using that, the countdown thing was kind of, after a while, got monotonous. But when you see what went down, you understand. Okay, now I know why she keeps counting down these months to this damn block party. I'm like, damn, what the hell happened to the block party, and when are we going to get to it?
Right.
But I'm glad she did mid-season and didn't wait this to be our whole season before preparing for this, because that would have been a drain. That would have drained me. So,
I agree.
Yeah. So like, white people come on time anyway. Like, black people never come on time, so of course it looked like white. Not to mention what they a nod to a few seasons ago. Inglewood is now turned into Iwood, if you will, gentrification, and I think they touched on that in the episode as well. But no, I thought shit was dope. The whole time I was enjoying the ride. I think Kelly made it what it was. But the entire time we knew the build-up was coming. Like, the shit couldn't just been that sweet.
Kelly was hilarious. Kelly still stole the show.
She did. When they showed her, doing those points, those leg lifts, and she was giving that English accent, like she was just going up. But I'm still surprised that her and Issa's brother be going at it. Like they be cracking me up, like them two, because they had it out like a while ago, like in one of the previous seasons. But this season they was going at it, and I was just like, I want her to be like, get your ass back, like get away.
But
so now I want to know
what's up. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I want to know what's up with Kelly and his Amal? I forgot his name. Issa's brother. I want to know what their history is. Amal.
Me too.
I want to know what the history is. I want to know why they bicker back and forth, and I want to know why every time they do encounter each other, Kelly loses. She sass everybody else, but she loses his ass.
Yeah,
that's
she does. She doesn't go in on everybody like on him as she does everyone else. Like she does kind of like keep it safe. Like it's almost like he got something on her. I don't know,
Yeah.
I always took it as like the class clown rivalry. Like anytime when you're in a space, because I'm the clown sometimes, and all my friends are clowns, like with jokesters. Mm-hmm. I just took it as it was just a friendly rivalry of just jokesters, because how two people who always going at each other, but in a funny way. Yeah. I never took it as like actual like shade. Mm-hmm. But it is always some kind of bickering, but I thought it was just friendly bickering. But now that I'm thinking about it in my mind, he doesn't have the same dynamic with her as he does Tiffany, because he seems like he genuinely likes Tiffany.
Oh yeah,
and wants to be her friend. But with Kelly, not so much, and he seems indifferent to Molly. I've never seen him interact with Molly. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I hugged Molly.
Okay. What'd you say?
Wait, did he hug Molly, or was it a fake? Did he hug her?
It was like a
Molly kind of came. I don't even remember she was there. Like she came really late compared to when they were having their own moment, their picture moment. She came after that. Remember, she wasn't there yet, but I don't remember if he touched.
She was after that. She was there when they were all gathering, and then Issa came up and saw them. Yeah, and that's when they had their whatever. Hey. That hug was that fake hug. Oh my god, it was cringy. They were a hard watch up until that wobble. Like this is so awkward.
Yeah, she knew what she did. That's why.
So it's a question from the comments. My good friend in Atlanta, D. Taylor. He said, "What are y'all?" Because you mentioned Tiffany. So Tiffany is not pregnant anymore. Her husband, they're out, and so like, what's your thoughts on Tiffany now? I mean, just in general now, post pregnancy.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think me.
Yeah, either one. Go ahead.
I think the pregnancy thing and having the baby thing kind of humanizes her, and I think, and that's why when you said that about Kelly earlier about seeing more of her, I hope, and I really do think that we're going to see more of Tiffany and Kelly, because I think. More and more, we're getting more. Their roles are becoming more organic. Yeah. Even like them both talking to Issa and Molly on their own, and they're pretty much mirroring the same thing, but not getting involved. I think with the pregnancy is kind of, having the baby rather, it kind of humanizes Tiffany, because before with the pregnancy thing, she kind of, she's the typical dippy, uppity California girl that's pretty cute, and she even treated the pregnancy like. Oh, I got my portraits of me. The baby shower was a whole thing. But now that it's an actual baby, she's realizing, oh shit, I'm a mom. Right. So I like that they're kind of hinting at the postpartum depression thing, because that's a real thing. But at the same time, they're still keeping it light and funny. And the show does that really well. It keeps things serious, but it keeps it light at the same time. But I think I didn't like her at first, but I think after she gets more into momhood, we'll probably like her a little more. I think that'll really ground her. And I think that's been kind of a nod back to Coachella. I think that's pretty much been her whole character arc, is this pregnancy and this baby grounding her, because she really wasn't grounded up until the pregnancy kind of happened. So I think I'll like her more and more. And I think we will see more of her, especially this season, because it seems to be all about the friendships, really.
This is my least favorite character, actually, in Insecure. I don't think she's a horrible person, but a lot of the mess that Issa and Molly have dealt with, somehow Tiffany's also involved. Somehow she knows all the tea, she knows all the information. She's kind of the person who, I'm not saying it's her fault, but she's always a link. Always a link.
She doesn't do anything to make it better.
She doesn't. She just let Molly just go off the way she did, and it kind of like confirmed, like, Molly, you might be onto something, like little shit like that. Watch out for her. She actually the worst.
I think. Let me just say this. I think they're giving us pieces of them for a reason. They started last episode when they revealed that they really weren't into having a child at this moment, and then you kind of see them now. They've had the baby, and the baby was doing whatever, and she's like, I'm finally out. Like, I don't want to go home. And I thought that he was going to be a little bit more like I thought they were gonna have it out. I thought they were gonna have a little argument but he was just so easily like, okay, I'll just go home and you just ride back with so and so. So it's good to see her having fun because she's like the most uptight character in this, like, the show. The most fun I've seen her have was when they were in Coachella last year, and that was like that's when she was high or something like that. But other than that, like, she's so uptight, and I think that's why we don't really like her character, because her character's not fun. She's like not fun. And like you said, she's tied to a lot of mess. She obviously is like, I think that if anybody should have got some heat, it should have been her about this Condola stuff, because she knew. But that's just me. I think she should have been got some heat about that.
She knew they were on the date. She didn't know they were together.
She knew enough to where that it could be some issues. And I just think as a friend, you have to be, it's hard to be in that space, but you have to be conscious of stuff like that, and you have to be able to make the right decision. And I don't think she made the right decision. She didn't know, but she knew that they were at least dating. And it's like, girl, like, your best friend, it's kind of messed up. But
do you think she owed that? Do you think she owed Issa that information?
Yeah.
I do.
I think she owed her something. She could have even said, girl, Lawrence and Condola, how they swap numbers, something. That's something.
I think she owed it to at least one of them, because it kind of set up to where she looks at Condola in a higher regard than Issa, because they're like her more elitist friends. But she didn't give anybody that information, and that's why, like, I think because of me on a friend standpoint, I'm just feeling how Issa, even Condola, how they felt in that room, and that them finding that out at the same time. Like, you let me get blindsided like that, really? You knew, like, and I think Issa kind of just didn't hold her as accountable as she should have. She just was trying to just be okay with it. But I think she owed it to her. It is worth, because she mentioned everything else. So it's like, I feel like something like that's major. Like, the girl that's at my block party is going on a date with Lawrence.
Something.
Especially considering that these people seem to be in the same circles. So it's almost inevitable Issa's going to see Lawrence, because he's still friends with Derek. And at least they met at the baby shower. That's worth mentioning. So the fact that she did,
so
she should have got some smoke for that.
Okay, yeah, and I definitely agree. Like, she should have got a little something, like, and she gave her a little look at the beginning, but then she got off, like, and maybe because she was pregnant, but whatever. I don't care. Got her.
Well, it was a scene at the event where she was trying to, like, clean up. I didn't know, and these was
exactly.
Yeah, she just didn't go there with her.
So before we get into, like, because we're talking about friendships, it's about to get real good. So before we get into the big situation, Nathan is back. She has been ghosting Nathan for the longest, okay? And all of a sudden, at the beginning of the episode, which we skipped this part, we know it happened. At the beginning of this season, we thought that something happened already before she decided that she was not fucking with Molly. Obviously, something did, but I'm assuming what really happened was that when Molly decided not to let Andrew know, that was the determining fact for her to be like, I don't fuck with Molly anymore. So, how y'all feel about Nathan? How do y'all feel about her giving that to Nathan, and especially after just talking for the first time? Like, it's a lot of layers in that. What's your thoughts? Let's start with you, Antoine.
Nathan is Issa's karma for how she treated everyone else in the past. But also, I think that Issa genuinely likes Nathan. I think he genuinely likes her, but I think Issa knew what she did, and I think she consciously made a decision to go through Nathan to get to Andrew. Like, that's how I feel about that whole dynamic. Yeah.
What you think? Lean in.
I don't like Nathan. I don't like him. I don't really root for him and them two being together. And I think because I just know how we were just watching the episode too. That episode where she was just going ballistic for that whole month, and we saw her unraveling. even though maybe it is karma behind her cheating with Lawrence or whatever, but
And
I still don't like that. And how he just kind of like did a whole "baby, I'm back" with flowers on her birthday at the whole butt. Like I don't like that. I don't like people who do stuff like that. But as far as what she said to him, they do have a certain chemistry. They have that same weird energy, that awkward energy. That's why she feels so comfortable with him. I don't think she was saying that about Molly to be. I think that's just how she felt in that moment. And I think we don't know the exact conversation that led to him asking Andrew, but I think that's just how she felt.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think she said it to be mean. She just said, that's just how she felt. The whole thing was just a build up. But no, I don't like me.
No. I think that she made a cautious decision. Because like you said, she goes to the man for a good while. We've seen him leave her a message. Issa wasn't having any parts of it.
He deserved that.
Huh?
He deserved that.
But he did to a degree. Prior to that moment, he already had a conversation hashed out. But anyway, she made a cautious decision to go in to slide in his DMs. Now, I do think I'm having a conversation about, how she felt about the block party and how she felt about Molly. But the moment that Nathan offered to help, and she made a cautious decision to express how she needed help, knowing that she knew that she had a conversation with Molly, and Molly said no. This girl went behind her best friend to get her to her best friend's boyfriend from one of her exes. So, that's how I feel about that.
Your bottom? No?
We don't know how that conversation went.
No, we do. She said it. And she said Nathan offered to help her.
Okay. So it's so hard to get inside Issa's head because in one hand you're thinking if he offered to help and she said that, regardless of how the conversation went, that's just kind of what I would say at the beginning. And I was telling my friends is that I get the why, but I don't like how she went about it. I do feel like it should have been another conversation, at least with Molly just saying, because you can't tell grown people what to do. So if Andrew want to help, he want to help. I do think it should have been a conversation like, hey, Nathan offered to help. He's going to ask Andrew. I know we had a conversation. I thought you should know. And if that would have been that I would have been like, okay, you can't. But I don't. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't like the way she went about it. But considering where they were with that tension in their relationship, I kind of get why she didn't have that conversation either. Because I think she kind of felt it was inevitable. I don't even think she thought Molly was going to come. So when she saw her, she seemed kind of surprised. Like, oh, you're here? She said that. Oh, I didn't think you come. And she was like, yeah, I'm here. And she was like, oh, shit. So she knew eventually.
It's all communication because they should not, like, she should not have even thought that Molly was not going to come because they have not had an official falling out. Oh, shoot. This thing called. Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So they haven't had an official falling out about anything like that. So there's no reason for her to think that, in my opinion, unless she just got in her head or listened to the person in her, in her shower or bathroom, because it's like.
But that's what she does. That's what she does.
Yeah, and that's what I'm assuming that this continued from last week's episode. I'm assuming she got in the shower, went to the bed, and was down about that, and then she's got on IG, saw Nathan in the message. That's just my assumption, because actually, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And then we fast forward to the next, to the event. So I don't know. Like, do you really think that she went behind her back? Was that really going behind her back to do so? Like, what do you think that's what happened? Or was she just trying to do everything she can? Do what she can do to save her event? Because her and Molly are not in this best place. So it's just like, well, girl. In her words, I don't fuck with you anyway. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of like she would have known, even if Molly hadn't went. I feel like she would have found out some kind of way because she went through Andrew. That's her boyfriend.
Right. It was the inevitable, so she knew that.
There's no way
she just didn't know it would
happen.
Find out. I don't think she thought it would happen at the block party. That kind of blindsided her. I knew because at that point, because that was her mindset. At this point, it's like, what's the worst that could happen? Nathan said, Andrew says no, and Molly's mad at me, or it's still not. It's still mad at me. So it was like whatever at that point. But she did went behind her back. She definitely went behind her back. But I think the fact that they weren't already in a good space
Mm-hmm.
and then she did that made it worse. But like I said, I don't think she thought that
Mm.
it was going to happen at the block party. And I think it was kind of just going to be like it was kind of more so. I'll get to it when I get to it. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it because the block party was so important to her. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I really don't think Molly has really realized that
Mm-hmm.
until Andrew kind of said what he said. Like, well, this is a lot. Like, she did a lot. Like, maybe that's why things are weird. And she was like, and Molly was like, oh yeah, because Molly's really never even discussed the block party with her. And
Yeah.
it's been even episodes where Issa has brought up the block party, and Molly kind of like was, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and like the whole communication thing. That's why they're saying the same things to other people.
Mm-hmm.
This relationship's important. This relationship is important to me. She doesn't give a fuck. This block party is important to me. And she doesn't give a fuck. So they're kind of in that same space. Um, did you?
So,
Yeah, she definitely went behind her back.
so okay. So to go ahead
She
and
definitely
crack
went
into
behind
that.
Yeah.
To go ahead
I
and
mean,
crack into that. Oh, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, we know why Issa did what she had to do. She chose business over friendship. She chose
And
friendship, business.
right, and Molly chose a relationship over friend. They both chose what they thought was important.
it,
I agree.
they
And
made their choices. Yeah.
like a lot of people have been saying, well, like that typically happens in the real world. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
people do
Yeah.
use people to get what they need, but it's different when it's your best friend and your best friend actually draws a line.
Yeah.
Like Molly specifically, she drew a line and she specifically asked Issa, "Do you understand?" Issa said yes. So once that happened, Issa kind of find that loophole to try to get around, but regardless, she still went around her best friend
Mm-hmm.
to get to her best friend's boyfriend.
It was very risk versus reward. It was like either the shit flops and
It would
I'm a
have.
failure again,
Mm,
or this relationship's already fucked up. So and that's just where her head was.
Who
it would
was
have
that
been
though?
okay if it wasn't her boyfriend. I think that's what made it like it made Issa less of an innocent person, which I don't think she's innocent anyway. But she became even less innocent because that's her, like she's like I think like Molly said in the episode, like that's my boyfriend, like So it's kind of like I get it, but I don't know. So the whole thing that happened at the end. Obviously, she goes up to her. She goes off. They get into a little altercation, and then somebody starts shooting. So just that whole scene. Let's talk more so about what happened and your opinion on the situation when she blew up on Issa and vice versa.
I mean, all right. So
Go ahead.
Molly was wrong.
Okay.
It's time and place for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think she justified for feeling the way she felt? Absolutely, but she should not have done that at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found interesting with that conversation is like they both, well, even before that explosion, Molly has tried 2 times within the season to talk to Issa. If you think about it, Molly has actually been doing the work on herself. All the wrongdoing she's done this entire series, she's actually went to these people and she has amended the situation. Her workplace, she amended it. She realized that she had relationship issues with Andrew. They talked about it. She's been effortlessly working towards it. She had an issue with her father, her family. She worked towards it. The last was Issa. And this entire season so far, she has been trying, but Issa has been the one to blow her off. The first time she blew her off was Thanksgiving. That was on purpose. The second time she blew her off actually was the last episode. Molly went to give her some food. That was like her way, because at that point, Andrew made her realize, basically you're treating me the way Issa was treating you, right? And she had an aha moment. Cool. She rectified this. She tried to rectify the situation. She tried to have a conversation with Issa. However, this time, I think Vince Staples had pulled up. So Issa got pulled away. So the blow up made a whole bunch of goddamn sense.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, Molly was wrong for doing it at that moment.
Stanley.
I'll leave it at that.
Miss Issa.
It definitely wasn't the time. Like that, it wasn't the time. But I agree with that. It was so much build up with the way they've been going to handle each other the whole season. But the reason why I don't really blame Issa is they're both equally responsible for the build up. But Molly is the queen of I'm too busy. I got so much work. I'm just so swamped. I can't. So the fact that I can get. Because while Molly is so wishy-washy with so many men, I get why Issa may not have picked up that Andrew's important. But I don't understand why Molly didn't pick up that this block party was important, because she knows business, so she knows what kind of goes into this kind of thing. And they clowned the block party from day one, all three of them. Like Kelly, Tiffany, and they've never really been supportive of this endeavor. Even Kelly joked about that. So I get why the build up happened. I get why at that moment she's like, I'm really mad and I have to get this out now. I get it, but it wasn't, the time and place. But I really never conversation. The thing we forget, because we're so big on unpacking and talking things out, we think conversations like that, for them to be real, there really is never a good time or place. I mean, we can sit down, have a chit chat, and be as mature as we want to be. We're talking about being how we really feel. It's never a cute conversation. It's never really a good time.
No, I agree. Keep moving. I'm sorry. Like I just feel like I think Molly. It's interesting because she's really not a perfect timing type person. She gave Issa this bomb at the beginning of the season, and she's giving her this bomb at this. But it's kind of like she's a very right now moment with Issa when it comes to confrontation, but she's not when it comes to talking about the bigger issue. And so, they've had many times where they could have talked about certain things, even when they first realized that there was friction at the grocery store, but they decided to talk later. So I don't know. Like this to me, this is just a whole big thing of like communication, and this is like the worst side of it, because now they're like almost physically fighting in the ring or close to be raining, what's going on. And like I just think they both have parts involved. I think that Issa doesn't really see what she's done, at least not at this moment. I don't think she feels. I think if you're looking at this show wants you to believe that Issa is completely innocent and Molly is like just wrong. But there are some.
I don't agree with that.
Well, I mean, based off the comments and what I'm seeing now, everyone is like, I hate Molly. She's such a bad friend. But let me tell you something. I feel like people are able to identify with Molly because they have Molly's around them. People they either are Molly or and not identify in terms of Team Issa, but Team Molly. But I'm saying like in terms of being like how they hate, and they're able to really dissect her character because they know people like that. I would consider myself slightly a Molly in a sense because. I consider Molly the strong friend, and I think in this situation, I think she is that. She's the one that comes to aid for Issa, and I think she's just tired. I think she's just tired. And I know it sucks because this is Issa's like biggest event. You know what I'm saying? Like this is one of her biggest events, but it's like when you are like just kind of tired of being that crutch, you're just tired. And honestly, that's all you see. So that's why it blew up in this moment. Because even Andrew was kind of like, why is that important? But he still was on her side. He still was team Molly, and I like that about Andrew. I think I'm really honestly enjoying Molly a lot more this season than anybody because I think like her story is a little more. It's less messy. It's a lot more like I see like some brightness coming from the end. That's just my opinion. Because she got Andrew.
Molly?
Huh?
Molly's been growing. Yeah. Issa hasn't.
You don't think so, Stanley?
So, all right. And then I had because the argument always, Molly's always been there for Issa, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But this is the thing. Molly has always been there for Issa in regards to the dynamics of the men in Issa's life. When they're talking about her breakup with Lawrence, what's the thing with Daniel, how her and Daniel first meeting, the Nathan ghosting thing. Molly's always been in the dynamics of men. Molly has never been in a relationship of this magnitude to really give Issa the opportunity to be there for her. Granted, it's happening. It's kind of making Issa look bad because, all right, this is your chance. She got a man now to be there for her, but it's also the worst time because Issa's dealing with something so big too. And I think that's Molly's reasoning. Like, I was there with you all these time with your boyfriends and fuck all these niggas you've been with. Why aren't you there with me with a guy I like? And the thing about Molly is that she's so hard to read when it comes to men. And like Issa said, you create so much problems. It's hard to know when it's the guy or when it's just going to be another person next week. And so I get that. That's why I understand Issa a little better. People are like, well, she's trying to open up a relationship with Issa to support. But it's like, how many men have Molly been like? Molly has came to Issa's ear about so many men. Wasn't she? She was dating Jendea and made something about that. She was dating the guy that used to work at Best Buy. She was work. It's like Issa said, it's always something. So when people, I remember when people were saying she was being so insensitive to her, mean to her. I said, but it was. I think she was telling the truth when she was like, don't you want to be happy? Like, it's always something. And I know people like that where it's just like, it's always something, girl. Just enjoy the man. Damn. And I guess that bothered Molly, but I don't really think she took it. I think she took it as both. She felt bad the way Issa said it, but she knew it was true. You are making problems. There's really nothing wrong with this man. If anything, she didn't even want to date the man. Issa told her, why don't you date? And Molly went this whole speech about her. I always saw myself with a black man, and I'm an HAA, and I got the type. Issa was like, girl, why? Like, just go on a date with him. And what happened? The baby shower. And then she saw Dro. And then that's what kind of pushed her. No, it was... He left the coat. She left her coat. He had the coat. She avoided it. Issa said, can you please just go get your coat from this man? He's a nice guy. And then she was like, I'm not going out with him. She's like, just go out with the man. And then she went out with him, and here we are. So realistically, that was Issa's version of being there for her, just getting her out of her own head of bullcrap. But I understand why Issa doesn't really understand the relationship for what it is, because with Molly, it's always something. It's always something. And it's always something with men who really don't amount to anything in her life. So after years of that, you're just like, another man, or all right, girl, whatever. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so I get it in that regard.
It's funny that it's so ironic because both of them have their reasons for like ignoring the other. Because she was told Molly, Issa did put some perspective into Molly. Like once Issa made that comment about like, do you want to be happy? Molly hurt her feelings, but she hurt her. But in that same moment, Molly also lost like a little bit, a little trust was lost because Molly had just a call from Andrew, and Issa's like, "Yo, who was that?" She was like, "Oh, that's my job." So I feel like at that moment, Issa's comment was so harsh that it kind of threw Molly off, and that kind of also jump started. It became a trend of Issa ignoring Molly's problems with men. Like Molly hasn't tried to vent to her about her situation with Andrew, and Issa was ignoring it the entire time, probably because she was focused on the Black Party. So I understand it, but that also like contributes to why she blew up at the end. It's
right.
It's a very complex situation, and in the preview next week, which we'll kind of go into predictions next. Like it seems like Issa's trying to maybe think about talking to Molly. So with
They're not talking.
They're not talking. But it looks like she's like having a thought about it. So what are your predictions moving forward for these two and the rest of the series? Because I believe this season has 10 episodes. It's usually 8, but this has 10. So we don't get an hour, but we get 10 episodes. We get 2 extra episodes. We're just like, that's it. What are your predictions, Stanley, of like this particular situation and the rest of the season?
It's hard to really call it because all my predictions have been wrong. I didn't see. I really thought I had. If you look back at my Facebook, I had a whole list of predictions I was going to make. I was right with what happened with Molly and Issa. I knew it was going to be. I thought they what I call it a Joan and Tony moment on Girlfriend. If you watch Girlfriend, I thought Lawrence and Condola was really going to be together. I thought he was going to like settle down with Condola, and I was wrong about that. But I would say this show isn't the kind of show where they paint Issa as the kind of person to hold grudges.
Yeah.
I think whenever Issa is really on the outs with somebody, there is something in her that has to resolve it, even if she doesn't get the outcome she wants. And I think Molly is the same way too. So I do think it's 2 predictions. Either whatever reconciliation they have going to have is not going to be within the next 2 episodes. I don't even think they'll probably be to the end of the season. That's one prediction. Or I think they just won't be friends for a while. And then as things keep happening around, because it's almost a mirrored thing with Lawrence. You have to see this person because y'all have this. That's the down part. That's the bad part when you have a group of friends and y'all all have history. So reconciliation is almost inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll be. I think so. Basically, I think they'll be friends eventually, whether it be by the end of the season or by next season. But it's not going to be any. It definitely won't be the next episode, and I could be wrong. Now, what I'm really curious about is your boy Lawrence. I want to see because he had a.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Normally people.
My boy's Daniel, but go ahead.
Normally people who love Lawrence hate Issa, so I thought that was your boy. But he came today. Tiffany's house. He had something to say, and it wasn't just about breaking up with Condola. So I don't know where that's going to go. I feel like that kind of been dragged out to its limits. That relationship, whether at this point viewers are like, are they going to be together or not? So I think that will definitely be. I don't think we'll see much more Condola. There's really no reason to see her. There's no reason to see her. And like I said, I really think we'll definitely see more of Kelly and Tiffany, especially if we're talking about the weird. I don't know if we're going to see Daniel.
No.
I don't think.
Go ahead. I'm looking at the comments. I'm sorry. There's another team Daniel in there. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think we're going to see Daniel for a while, and we probably definitely will see more Nathan. So that's I kind of don't make predictions no more with this show because I'm always wrong. Because I thought our prediction, me and my friends, I thought she was going to ask Daniel for help with the music thing, but then I thought about it, I said no. She kind of there's no going back to that. She kind of that bridge has been burned. So
that's true. Antoine,
it's interesting to see.
Now, my predictions have been kind of right. I mean, I think it's been pretty easy to predict personally because it's like the way they were going. Like the whole thing with her going behind her back, I knew it. I called that shit last week. Where I want to see it go, at first I didn't want to see Issa and Lawrence together. But then when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Both of them have grown in many ways. When Issa was with Lawrence was in depression. He was a bum. Issa was like a little bit more, she was definitely way more immature. So I'm very curious to see like if they could last. Would it be more of a healthy relationship now that they've been with other women and other men? But I mean, I'll be all right if they didn't, but I do want to see what happens with them. I want to see what happens with Nathaniel. I want to see how he comes into play. To be honest, Team Molly or not, I'm not really feeling her and Andrew. I'm not really.
We gotta unpack that.
But I'm not really feeling their dynamic. What he does bring to the table is he made Molly see some perspective, but to me they don't look good together. And that's just
helps her growth.
He
helps her grow. He helps her grow up because he doesn't play the other games the other men in her life have played. He doesn't deal with her bullshit, but he does enjoy her. But is that going to be the one she went to the end of the show? I don't know.
I don't see it.
Well, if it ends, it's going to be because if it ends, it's not because of him. I don't think so.
It's not.
Issa said it. She did say it.
If it does,
Molly
I love Molly, but it's gonna be because I don't see he seems very like he knows what he wants, and I'm excited. Yeah,
I think it'd be a good curveball if he's the one that ended it because Molly always ends it with him.
It needs to be the one to end because I'm sorry, he needs to be the one to end it because it would show. Not that she hasn't grown, but it would be the check that Molly needs, and it probably will be the bridge that will bring her and Issa back together. Unfortunately, that's sad, but I just feel like we kind of we grow and we thrive off of things like that. Like that sometimes it takes for a bad situation to happen before we kind of get back to what's really important. And what's really important right now is that friendship that's kind of dwindling every episode. It's just kind of going away. If she can communicate to me, if she can communicate to Andrew, and be open and with him, I think she could be the same with Issa. And honestly, she was trying. She gave her chicken wings. She was doing stuff in this episode, but and it didn't go unnoticed, but it just didn't work out. So I don't know.
I think now that the block party's out of way, even though I am still Team Issa, I think out of the block party is done, Issa really won't have any more excuses to not have this
That's true.
conversation.
That's true.
So I think
And
that's kind of really where we'll see the growth in Issa. Because I think the most growth we saw Issa, honestly, was the end of last season when she, with Nathan, kind of just like, you know what, I need to get my shit together.
yeah,
I got to be on my own. I got to stand on my own 2 feet, and I'm not going. I'm good. So I saw a lot of growth in her leaving her job. That was a major moment for me when she just up and said, "I can't do this no more." Like I was like, okay, wow, that was her season for growth.
yeah.
And I guess Daniel did that for her. I don't know. I like Daniel.
So, I mean, if nothing else, like I think we've kind of covered the entire episode. We talked a little bit about the previous episode, and we're gonna see. We got 4 more. Was it 5 more episodes actually? So,
Wow.
if nothing else, before we move out, I want to thank y'all for doing this. It was actually very fun. I'm a little tipsy, but I have enjoyed this,
Me too.
and I hope that
This is
people
fun.
watching have too. I kind of want to do this more often because I don't mind talking, but I like to hear what everyone else thinks, and it's good to have a team Molly versus Team Issa. That's what made this so much more enjoyable. So I guess starting with Stanley, like let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
My Facebook is Stanley Trey Trae Constant. My Instagram is Trey underscore the underscore arrogant 89. Trey the arrogant, but it's underscores. I haven't started my YouTube page yet, like yours, but I do. But when I do, I'll post that more.
Yeah, and they can find you on my IG too. I got you. So your
Mhm.
IG is on there on
I saw.
Yeah, so they can find you there too, and then go to your YouTube too. Both of you guys, sex. So, but Antoine, where can they find you outside of that?
All right, so let me see. On Instagram and Twitter, you can follow me at ITS World, which is It's AT's World, not at It's AT's World. On Facebook, where I probably do most of my mess, you can friend me at Antoine. Yes, ANTOINE Almost forgot TATE. There you go.
Okay. And of course, you can find me at Stupid Wild Test, but also the Lean blog. And it's been fun. So before we head out, not before we head out, actually, we're about to head out. So other than that, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for the comments that have been here. And if you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, there is another one with 2 additional guests. Well, not additional, 2 different guests. And we're going to get into that show too. So let's talk about it. Until then, thank y'all for letting me know. We're finna lay out, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.
All right, y'all.
Bye, y'all.